it was a 3-year contract that Vitello got for $3.5 million per year. So the total was $10.5 million. There was some talk about what his salary was at Tennessee, and the Giants are going to have to, pay him a lot more to get him out of there. So whatever the numbers were at Tennessee, he got a 3-year, $10.5 million deal. So $3.5 million a year with a vesting option for a 4th year. Vesting, there's probably some markers he would need to hit to make it vest. Could be as simple as games won. I don't know what the vesting options are, but it's a 3-year deal. So he's going to be here, and it's a new day for the San Francisco Giants. And here's some issues that a manager in this spot, where he's never been a big league manager before, that he's going to come up against, right? And they're not insurmountable issues. They're issues where the human side of Vitello and what he's all about, he's going to have to take care of it. But I think the most important thing, and you'll hear this I heard this from there 10, 12, 15 former players today on TV, on the radio, and they all said the same thing. He has to win the clubhouse. That's a very important thing, for taking over a manager's job. Even if you've been a manager for a long time and you got a new job as a manager, you got to win the clubhouse. Players need to buy into you and what you're all about. Players need to know that you are not fake or phony, or if you're dishonest with the player, you're done. You're done, because every other player will know that. And every manager knows that. And most managers are pretty straight up with their players because they know that you absolutely have to be. And I tell you what, major league players, if you're at all fake or phony, they will see it. They will see it within 2 or 3 days, whether you're a teammate or a coach or the manager. They have an innate ability, major league players, to see what teammates or coaches, or like I said, managers, to see what they're all about. If these guys are rah-rah and it's fake, they'll see it right away. They just have that ability. There's something about a big leaguer. They don't miss much of anything when it comes to clubhouse camaraderie and what guys are all about. And that's why it's very important for a manager to be honest. And I think most players, that may be the most important thing to a player. Just be honest with me. Don't BS me. If tell me, even if I don't like it, just tell me. That's what a player wants. Be real, be honest, and also listen to the players. And talk to the guys, and I'm sure that Vitello, he may be making phone calls already, get to the leaders early, get to Logan Webb and Chapman and Adames. Talk to these guys. Go visit them in Arizona, and he probably will. He may be doing it soon. Get a feel. Let them know what you're all about. These guys are dying. They're I don't care how long they've been in the big leagues. They're dying to know what this guy's all about. They want this guy to succeed, take the organization to the next level. So you talk to guys, you Zoom guys, you go visit guys. So when spring training starts, you got a little bit of a relationship with most of the players. I think that's important. And that's what new managers do. And that's what Vitello will do, I'm sure. And then you get everybody going in the same direction, but the players get to know what you're all about. They're hearing about this guy that's got a lot of moxie and a lot of charisma and a lot of confidence, and he plays the game and he wants his players to play the game with an edge. They're all hearing this. Guys are looking, what's this guy about, man? Well, they want to see it. Is it real? And if it's real, great. I'm in with you. So that's and I don't even want to use the word issue, but that's probably the first step for a new manager. And in this case, Vitello, which, I'm sure he'll handle it fine. And I think too, you got to stay consistent day to day. It's hard being a manager. Think about that 162 games. You got to stand there and watch 9 innings and grind and grind and grind. And if you're if you have a personality that's very enthusiastic, like it sounds like this gentleman has that, uh, you know, the players want to see that that enthusiasm is real. They don't want to see it only when it's going good, and then it's not there when the team is struggling. So there needs to be a consistency with that, but really with everything, and that's a hard thing to do for 162 games. When because you're going to go through struggles. Gosh, we saw it this last season, right? I mean, there was highs and lows, and you just couldn't figure out the team. And that's the hard part for a manager, but they have to do their best to stay, even keel. And that's not easy. And listen, he's going to put out a lineup. He's going to have a rotation. Those things to me, it's you're always going to disagree with the lineup as fans or whatever. I don't think that's his biggest issue, right? The bullpen, I mean, that's a thing, right? Because how often, how is a bullpen run in college baseball? Probably a little bit more like professional baseball as opposed to what it used to be, but it's still not the same. You got to worry about guys' usage and playing every day, that kind of thing. So I think the bullpen and how he's going to be learning, right? But that may be his biggest challenge initially. But outside of that, when it comes to actual game action, and you'll find out, is he an aggressive manager offensively? But you got to have the personnel to do it. We'll find out all about that stuff. But I think too, maybe the second most important thing after win the clubhouse is putting together the right staff. This is huge, especially when you have a guy that's in Vitello's situation where he's a new manager. He's never managed professionally before. That's the story. So the Giants and Tony need to. This is important. The staff. Do you need some veteran guys on the coaching staff? Probably. Would you like to have maybe a guy or two that maybe has been an ex-manager or maybe has been a manager and got a little bit of an idea? I think that would probably be a good thing. So that's going to be something to watch closely, I think, is how this staff gets put together. And it's probably being put together as we speak. That would be my guess. These things don't mess, they get rolling. We need to get this thing going. We need to get our manager. We need to get his staff together. So they're working on that right now, I'm sure. And Vitello needs to be able to get this staff together and then listen to him. And I'm sure he will. This is a smart guy. So the staff, and I'm really curious to see who's on it, because he's gonna have times in the game, where he may need to look to somebody and say, "What do you think here?" And that's not uncommon. I mean, that's why you have a bench coach. All the coaches check with their bench coach. He's going to need to do that maybe a little bit more often. I don't know. So let's keep a close eye on the staff and who gets hired. And I'm sure as time drifts on here in the next couple of weeks, we'll start to see this staff come together. So so those are some of the issues that Vitello will deal with, which I'm sure he'll deal with them fine. That's not they're issues, but there's a reason why they hired him. They hired him because he'll be able to handle these issues. I mean, that's my opinion. So wrapping it all up from my perspective, I think, and I've thought a lot about this. I've looked at these different things. I've listened to what people are saying, but I think that this is a great move by the Giants. I really, really do. And I love the fact that they weren't afraid to do it. Okay. Is it controversial? Yes. Is it uncertain? Yes. Any manager you hire is going to be uncertain, right? This is a huge step. out of the box, as they like to say. But I love the fact that the organization had the cojones enough to do it and not be afraid of what people are going to just. I think this is our guy. Let's get this done. And that, to me, as impressed as I am with what I'm reading and hearing and seeing about Tony Vitello, I'm just as impressed with Buster and his people that they have shown in a year that they are not afraid to take a risk. And I think you have to do that as a GM, or as you know, whatever in charge of base. You have to be willing to take a risk. And sometimes it may backfire, but you have to be able to do that. If you're not able to do that, then you're probably not going to be a great guy in charge of an entire baseball operation. Because at some point you're going to have to take chances. And I love the fact that they're not scared. That's if I was just if I didn't have my own YouTube show and I was just a fan who goes to the game and spends money, I would want my team to win first and foremost. But I would want my decision makers to not be afraid to make a big move. And they have shown that they're not afraid to do that. And I think that's great. And people say your team many times takes on the personality of the manager. Well, let's see if that happens, right? This guy's got some fire in his belly. He's got a lot of enthusiasm. He likes to have fun. He gets after it. He's not afraid to rub the opposition the wrong way. I got no problem with any of that. And if that's the personality that his team takes, wouldn't you love that as a Giants fan? Isn't that exactly what you want as a Giants fan? You know what? So we rub the Dodgers the wrong way. Too bad. So we play hard and we play aggressive, and we don't care what anybody else says, and we don't care what anybody else thinks. We don't care what the Padres think, right? And again, I'm being fairly generic here. I'm not talking about, hey, we're throwing at guys. That's not what I'm talking about. But you can play with a confidence and with an edge that can really bug the opposition. That's the way they need to play. And if he can get them to do that, then I think this team's going to be successful. I think he's going to be successful. And I think Giants fans will enjoy this new regime, whatever you want to call it. But I like it. I think it's a great move. And I'm very impressed that the Giants not afraid to do it. Okay. The Glen Kuiper Show, All Giants, is brought to you by the Kehrig Real Estate Team. Since 1978, the Kehrig Real Estate Team has been helping families buy and sell homes across the Bay Area. With deep local roots and a legacy of client-first service, they are committed to delivering results with honesty, care, and expertise. Whether you're moving up, downsizing, or making your first purchase, trust the Kehrig Real Estate Team to guide you home. The Kehrig Real Estate Team, serving the Bay Area with pride for over 45 years. Contact Mike Kehrig today for a free home sale or purchase consultation. Call 925-548-4132 or go to the website at kehrigteam.com. Show is also brought to you by Tilden Properties. As an investor, one of the best places to put your money is California's multifamily real estate. When investing with Tilden Properties, you see cash flow with quarterly dividends while building equity in the real estate market. Bay Area-based and family-owned, Tilden Properties has been building investment wealth for their clients since 2008. Go to the website at tildenproperties.com or call 925-209-8558.